Hi, guys. Um, Hope everyone can hear us as you're logging in here. I see people filling into the chat room as the 8:30 hour rolls around. We were setting up the member call, and well, we had a little disaster. Here, I'll show you. Let me see if I can get the camera here. So Jocelyn had a grape drink. Sitting on the thing, and I didn't notice it, and I knocked it off. And now this is we've actually been working on it now for about 15 to 20 minutes. And that is grape juice on white carpet. Grape water flavoring on white carpet. And that happened, 15, 20 minutes before we went live here on tonight's member call. But we're just going to soldier on through this. Jocelyn has informed me that hold on. Jocelyn, I can't even get all the cameras in the thing. Jocelyn has informed me, in her infinite wisdom of cleaning stuff, that this apparently has to be cleaned up while it's still fresh. Should I put this white towel over these blots and dop them up a little bit so I'm not stepping on it? Pretty much, we're going to be calling Stanley Steamer tomorrow. So as we prepare for tonight's member call, sit back and relax because Jocelyn's trying to get some of the Oxy stuff on the thing.
Hope you don't need my input because I'm like busy cleaning up purple dots out of the carpet.
Oh
so
my gosh! So this is
this is how we roll.
So I'm going to try. We have decided to split this up a little bit here, and oh, my closet door is still open, Jocelyn. How about that? All right, let me try and fix the camera. Yeah, just look at our closet instead of that. So for any of you out there who are afraid of live video, this is as live as it gets. And so we are going to just keep cleaning that up. Okay, so, and there goes my notebook. All right. I will clean it. Do you want to take the mic? Let's switch it up. You want me to do the I don't want to be your oppressor. I am a supporter of the female gender, Jocelyn. All right, so I'm gonna go in here. Welcome everyone. If you are just joining us in the chat, Jocelyn is in the floor cleaning spilled grape juice.
If this is your first member call,
if this is your first member call ever, welcome.
Then we'll be processing your refund.
Welcome
as soon
to
as
the Flip Your Life community, and we process refunds every Monday morning. And just kidding. We don't give refunds. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So I am going to now start the actual part of the member call where we actually answer questions. So we have a few questions down below. So looks like the sound is good. Looks like the video is good because Dan Decker said it looks like a CSI episode in our floor. Yeah, so I take total responsibility for this mess because I did not think to check the top of this table before I moved it. I'm destroyed Mom's drink. I spilled it on the carpet right on our member call. So, all right, guys, welcome again. If it's your first member call, I apologize. We're going to have a good time tonight. We're going to answer lots of cool questions about online business. Jocelyn is trying to get OxyClean on the giant grape juice spill. Isaac is dancing into the camera frame. It is a chaotic night here at the Sam's household. Okay. About that later. All right, go on. You and Anna go out there. We'll be back in just a second. All right, see you, buddy. All right. So, as always, you can post your questions in the chat right now. I will be looking for those questions. Once I get 2 or 3 questions in the chat box, you should still read them in between stomping the grape juice out of the carpet. So we're going to fill this up real quick as fast as we can. I've got 2 questions below. We've got a question from Tristan, and it looks like we have a question from Esther. And anybody else, if you have a question right now, now's the time. There is a slight delay between the audio, what you're hearing, and the chat box, what you are seeing. Okay. I am probably going to go ahead and refresh my screen. I do believe we've got audio and visual confirmation from the chat room. And there it is. So go ahead and post your questions right now. Okay. If you got a question for us tonight, I'm going to go ahead and start with Tristan's question below. But questions will be taken in the order they are received. More and more people will log on to the call throughout the night as we go along. So make sure you're getting your question in now. Post any questions you have in the chat box. And as we get through them, we will answer them. Okay. Do you want to read this? Or I just want to keep going? Sure. Come on over. Come over here, Jocelyn. Read. I got it posted right here for you.
Because you know, like
you got to multitask.
I'm a professional.
You're a pro.
All right.
All right. This is
wow. This is a lot of question. Okay.
Probably start. Well, I'll just go ahead.
Okay, it says, I'm looking for the next step I should take to grow my list. My audience is expectant parents who are choosing natural childbirth and who are interested in natural health. My membership site includes a childbirth prep course, info on nutrition, herbal medicine, etc. for pregnancy, postpartum, newborn, and access to me via a private Facebook group. My main lead magnet right now is a 5-page PDF, a guide and short assessment to help people assess their readiness for natural birth and identify what to work on to prepare. She says, I have some other PDFs. And let's see. I have a webinar outline on 3 steps to build confidence in natural birth and was planning to record next week. As you can see, I like creating content, but now I need to get something out there. I think I should start paid ads and buy some traffic and leads, probably on Facebook. Does that sound like the best next step? And if so, should I start driving traffic to the guide and assessment, or would you recommend I finish the webinar recording and use that?
This is going to be totally out of context on YouTube when you're crawling around cleaning the floor, hearing these questions someday when they get edited finally. All right. So the basic question is, and I would say that many people out there find themselves in the same spot that Tristan finds herself in. You love creating content. You love putting everything out there, but you're not really promoting the thing that you sell. You're just making new stuff all the time. And the procrastinator. That is a form of procrastination, by the way. And the natural inclination here is, man, I should start a bunch of ads. But what you really need, Tristan, is an actual strategy. You have no strategy. You're just creating all of the things. You're just making all of the things. You're just making new lead magnets. You're just throwing as much stuff on the wall, hoping something will stick. And while that's okay in the beginning, you need a plan. Like, you need to map out exactly how people move through the process of discovering you to the purchase of your product. Like, Jocelyn and I know that our podcast and interviews we do on other people's shows or stuff like that is how most people find us. And we know that our podcast promotes people going to our website to check out our membership. Okay. And then we use tracking pixels to show ads to those people who came to our website so that they can opt in or buy a product. We have a direct strategy from discovery to purchase. Right now, you're just trying to start random ads. You're just trying to throw in a webinar just because somebody said to do a webinar. You're just throwing in, any piece of content, or just trying to grab something that you can drive some traffic to, right? But that's not how this works. You have to plan. If you don't plan, you're planning to fail. And you've got to create a good sales funnel and connect it from discovery to purchase, or you're never going to have any money. So it's not going to work. So what you can do is find maybe the most popular piece of content that you've created and kind of use that as the baseline. Like, this is what I need to create more of. Or maybe this is what I need to drive traffic to. And then I need to have a lead magnet that gets them involved and gets them on my list there. And then that triggers an email that invites them to a webinar that's literally related to that lead magnet, literally related to that blog post, and related to the first thing they found about you. Okay. You have to have a path planned out for your people to find you, discover you, and buy your product. That's the only way that this is ever going to work. Okay. So what I would recommend is that if you're going to start ads, you would drive it to a piece of content that you know is popular. And then you would optimize that page to get a lead magnet that's related to that piece of content. And then you can use your email autoresponder to guide people to your webinar that you will do live. That's a strategy. That's a path. That's not just what should I do next? I'm going to do it all. I'm just going to keep going. I don't do that. You need to actually have a plan to get people from discovery to purchase and then execute that plan over and over and over and over and over again. And you don't have to reinvent the wheel and you don't have to do everything. You need one path and then you need to flood that path with traffic. I was reading the news the other day and I saw this amazing picture and it was the top of Mount Everest and there was like 1,000 people in line all the way down the mountain and it literally looked like a line for a roller coaster at the Magic Kingdom. And they were in line to summit Mount Everest, to go to the top and then come back down, go to the top and then come back down. And the point of the article was how dangerous it was at the top, but it was just a striking picture of how people were literally just lined up on the only path that led to the top of the mountain, right? And it was unbelievable because you used to think like nobody, I mean, 1 out of a billion people had ever climbed Everest, and now there's literally a waiting line. There needs to be a fast pass now to get to the top of Mount Everest. But you've got to do the same thing. You have to have a path that goes to the top of the mountain. The top of the mountain is your product. And there has to be a direct path, one path that the guides take people down to get to that point. And it's got to have a strategy behind it or it's not going to work. So I would recommend that you go into the Flip Your Life Blueprint training area. And I want you to watch the course called Sales Funnels. And I want you to watch the other course with that's called Sales Chain. And I want you to learn the process. That will teach you how to create a strategy, one strategy to get as many people to your product as possible through your content area. Okay.
Okay. And if you're just joining us or watching this back later, this is not a crime scene. I am cleaning up some water flavoring that which happened to be grape, of course, that Shane spilled all over the white
worst
carpet.
possible color that you could ever spill on white carpet.
First of all, who thinks it's a good idea to have white carpet? Like only old people.
The white carpet was here when we bought this place.
Yeah.
We've not changed it.
And old people built this house. So the only people who think white carpet is a good idea are old people.
In the 80s.
Just saying.
Yeah, when they put it down. All right. So let's see here. All right. So we're going to go on to the next question. Got a lot of good questions tonight. I'm going to go ahead and grab Esther's question. We have someone on the call but couldn't get logged in. So we got another one right there. All right. So I'm going to ask, let's see. All right. Here we go. All right. Our next question is from Esther. Esther says, sorry, I won't be able to attend the call tonight, but I thought I'd leave my post here in the forums. I will be working during that time. I am working toward establishing myself as an expert in gifted education, and I am given opportunities to present face-to-face workshops via university and local schools. How can I make use of these opportunities to promote my online business, apart from taking photos and posting them on my website? All right, so the general question here is, how do you take live opportunities and leverage those to promote your online business? Well, one, don't discount taking pictures and posting them and showing, hey, I'm an expert. Look, people are putting me on stage. Anything you can do to visually prove what is happening in your business, you need to be able to do that. Okay. So that's a great thing, but also record all of these sessions. Like you don't have to film the crowd. You don't have to have anybody else on camera, but film yourself in a live professional setting, teaching what you do, and take the content that you create at these live sessions and sell it, put it in your member area. Like we have videos last year of Flip Your Life Live where me and Jocelyn were on stage in front of over 100 Flip Your Life members and listener and Flip Lifestyle podcast listeners teaching. And it looks awesome because we're up on stage. There's lights, there's cameras, there's photographers, there's people clapping, and like all that stuff like lends credibility to you and your brand and what you're doing. So the best way to use live opportunities like that is to document everything. anything that you can document and you can use in your courses, in your marketing, in social media that actually shows you doing the thing. That's what you need to do. Like, look how other people market their brands. Like, look at Gary Vee, how he's always on camera interacting with fans, answering questions. Look at Russell Brunson. He's always on stage selling something. Look at, any entrepreneur or any person in your space who's popular and has a lot of expertise, and you're going to find them, on stage in front of people and doing that. There's a weird effect that happens when you do certain things in the world. Like, if you write a book, even if you self-publish the book, like, so few people actually write a book, that automatically sets you above and beyond, and you become an authority because you wrote a book on something. If you are on stage speaking, you could be making no money for the speaking gig. You could be not one of the least successful people in your field, but if someone gave you the right to be on stage, like the 100 people in the audience, like, they don't even realize how you got there or how they could get there, and that automatically sets you apart. So you really want to document these live teaching opportunities, presentations, face to face. You can just negotiate it into your contract with them. Just be like, hey, I document and record every one of my face to face presentations, so I will have a camera person with me, and I'll be setting up a camera, and we will be documenting this. If no, I don't have to show the crowd. If you don't want anybody to be on it, that's fine. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be doing that. That's a part of your deal. Like, they don't get to say no. If they say no, you don't go do their thing. You go to someone else that will actually let you film it. Okay. But try to document everything, and and then use the screenshots, use the videos, use all of that stuff in all of your marketing to prove your expertise. I just did a Facebook post a little while ago where I took a picture from Flip Your Life Live last year because I wanted to show it, because it had like lights flashing in the background and people were like surrounding me and Jocelyn to talk to us. And I used that in my marketing because I documented it. I had the foresight to document it and have all of that stuff with me. To do that, and you need to do the exact same thing.
I was just thinking that, in that picture, I'm surrounded by a lot of people at my event. In this picture, I'm cleaning up water flavoring out of the carpet. I mean, who doesn't trust me? I'm just saying.
This is.
I'm just saying.
These are this. If we ever use any of these videos anywhere else, it's going to be so out of context, and it's like, why is this guy answering question? And while she is cleaning the floor, this makes no sense.
May or may not be bloodstains. I promise it's not. It's purple. It's purple. Okay.
Our kids are
like, you
alive.
can bring some. What is it called? Like luminol. You can bring it in here.
They were on camera earlier. Jocelyn knows all about like crime scenes because she listens to crime podcasts all the time. So I think we're getting close, though. Are we getting close?
Well, not really. I'm like out of purple.
Let's just call Stanley Steamer. Just jump on the call. We'll get it later.
Well, let me get
all right, so we're getting a few more drops. Jocelyn's got a few more drops to get. This is the wildest member call we've ever had. A lot of questions coming in.
I mean, I can't decide if this is better or worse than my kid like eating a rotisserie chicken in the floor during a call. I'm pretty sure it's worse.
I think it's pretty amazing. I think this is actually pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think it's worse.
All right, so let's see. All right, so our next question, Jocelyn will be here soon, I promise. She's obsessed with not letting this carpet totally stain on her. All right, so Carol says, all right. All right, for those of you just tuning in again, we spilt grape juice on the floor, and Jocelyn is trying to OxyClean.
And by we, he means Shane.
It was your drink. You brought the drink into our room with white carpet, so you have some
which had a lid.
You have some percentage chance of responsibility in this.
False.
I'm just saying.
All right, who sides with me and who sides with Shane?
Yeah, whose fault is it? Is it Jocelyn's fault?
Okay, and you better say Shane's because I'm down here in the floor.
So now, let me explain some process here. We're not moving past this. I'm standing my ground. All right, so I set up the member calls. I set up all the member calls. I hook up the camera, the computers, the mics. Jocelyn walks in. Her mic is just gently and pleasantly laid on her chair for her, so she's ready to go, right?
Queen.
Because she's the queen. And so I did that. So I also, like, our chairs don't normally sit at this skewed kind of angle. They're a little more centered on this window over here to my right. So I always have to move this table right here over a little bit. Well, I did not see the grape drink glass with a lid on it. So somehow when I moved it hit the ground and exploded
Yeah,
everywhere.
and here's the thing. Like, I'm pretty sure I could try to replicate that. Like, I could put an identical glass on this table, and it would not have happened that way.
All right. Anyway, so here let's whose fault is this? Is this me for doing my job like a good person, or is it Jocelyn's fault for not thinking and bringing grape drink into the room with the white carpet?
All right, votes.
Votes. I want to hear it after this question. I'm going to tally the results, and I'm
It
just
better be
saying,
Shane.
it's totally Jocelyn's fault. Every bit of this is Jocelyn's fault. Okay. All right. Anyway. All right. Let's see here. All right. Our next question, Carol says, "Hi, I'm on the call. I'm new to the Flip Your Life group." Well, welcome to your first
Carol.
call, Carol.
I'm so sorry.
Welcome. We're so glad you're here. I'm excited to be here. I'm in Louisville and a UK fan. That's good. It's always good.
Okay, well, we are UK fans, so maybe like you can
Forgive us.
Yeah, maybe you can forgive us for this madness.
I think I've done several things in the steps in the blueprint, but they may be out of order. I already have a website and an email list with a PDF for those that join the email list. I am a child psychotherapist and specialize in helping kids and teens who have been in foster care, adopted, or traumatized. I've written 4 books and do not wish to publish another book because the publisher gets the money for my hard-earned work. And I think she's got the rest of her question down here in the comments. Let me post this here. I'm wondering, what is the next step for me? I'd like to have some worksheets for therapy groups on my page. How do I even do a membership? I have to be careful because I don't want to give advice to therapists or families. Okay, so there's limitations in this field because you are in the medical field, and I'm sure there's things that govern what you can and can't do. Okay. If the problem is you don't want the publisher getting money from your book, then you should self-publish and sell your own book. You should self-publish new books and don't go through a publisher. Then you get to keep all the money. Now, you do have to promote it. It's harder to do that because you got to go more online marketing methods instead of the traditional get your stuff in a bookstore. But self-publishing is the way to go if you don't want to share the money. And I agree with that. Like that, there's a lot of people that do that and choose not to because they don't want to get it. Because if you don't know how it works, guys, if you write a book and it's published, like you might get an advance for a little money, but you're going to get pennies on the dollar for the sale of your book that the publisher is going to get. They're going to keep the vast majority of the money. Okay. Now, if you want to sell resources to families and therapists to use, then you should create some form of digital product, or you could put a bunch of digital product behind a membership. Like, hey, I've made 500 resources that you can use as a social worker, as a psychotherapist, as someone, you know, who is working with teens in foster care, adopted or traumatized people. Like, you should be able to put those behind a paywall and charge to get to those. So you could create resources and put them behind a paywall. Or if I'm not sure why you don't want to give advice to therapists or families. That seems exactly what you should do. You could work with families, work with children virtually. You could do that. You could be like a virtual therapist or a virtual counselor. You don't have to use, I can't hear you. You don't have to use real names or anything like that. You could even, your content could be case studies that you may have experienced, but you could change all the names so nobody knows about it. So without more detail, my best answer to you is create these worksheets and things that you're creating, and then sell those to other child psychotherapists. But you've given us a lot of limitations here. You've basically said, well, I don't want to write a book anymore. I don't want to help. I'm a psychotherapist, but I don't want to help other psychotherapists. I'm a psychotherapist, but I don't want to give advice to families. And maybe there's restrictions on what you can and can't do online. You know, probably the best thing though she should do is, like, you should probably find someone else who's a psychotherapist online that's selling something. And you need to probably go back to the idea vetting and research course and inside the Flip Your Life Blueprint. And you need to look how to research your market, how to research your niche, how to go in and see what other people are selling, see what other people are doing, and then you do that in your own way. You're doing things out of order, like you said in your post. You've got so many, you're trying to get emails, you're trying to do this, you're trying to do that, but you don't even know what your offer is yet. You don't even know who your avatar is yet. So you're way too far listening to all the technical stuff, and you need to go back and get your idea right. And then you need to figure out who your avatar is, and you need to figure out what you're going to sell based on what other people are already selling. And that's what you need to do. So I think you need to back the truck up to your research.
Okay, so I'm finally back.
Move your chair this way a little bit.
The carpet cleaning has
you're not on
hit
camera.
a standstill because I have run out of carpet cleaner. So
Your computer's unplugged.
yeah. So anyway, I was just going to say that I think sometimes people use these types of things as excuses. Like they say, oh, well, I'm in a medical field and, I'm not allowed to share patient
I
info.
can't do
So there's
anything.
no way that I
can't
can do something
monetize.
online. Well, yeah, there is because there are people doing it.
Yeah, there's other
I just realized I need to wash my hands, so I'll be right back.
All right. So I think the biggest thing you've got to do is this is why it's so important, guys, not to just listen to the latest expert and what tool they're teaching. Like you don't want to get ahead of yourself. The Flip Your Life Blueprint is written from the beginning to the end of your journey. Set a goal, find an idea. Who are you going to sell it to? What's the product? Until you do those things, you should never write a blog post. You should never ask for an email. You should never do anything. You shouldn't start a Facebook page until you know the answer to those questions. What is my goal and why? What is my idea? Then you research it and make sure that other people are making money. Who am I selling this thing to? Who am I solving a problem for? And what am I selling? Like, if you don't know those 4 things, you should never invest in a product, never start a website, never do anything else, because you're just going down a rabbit hole that never ends, and you're going to end up working and spending money and not making any back. So go into the research courses, take those again if you've taken them already, and let's find people who are making money with your expertise, with your similar background, so that we can come up with some actual ideas that we know will work in the marketplace. Okay. All right. So Jocelyn is coming back. We, for those of you just tuning in, welcome to tonight's call. We had a massive grape juice spill before everything started.
Shane did.
I did. I knocked it over, but it was still your fault. Oh yeah. Let me look in here. Let's see.
Yeah, we need to find out the results of the poll.
Jocelyn is always right.
Clearly.
Jennifer says, I'm Team Jocelyn.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Let's see. Jeff says, I'm going to be politically correct and say it's the fault of gravity. Dan says that I need to keep digging my hole. Okay. And Lori said, I'm cooking dinner and listening, but I ran to my computer to vote, and it's totally Shane's fault. Okay.
I mean, clearly 100%. Well, okay, 100% minus Jeff.
Let's get back to tonight's questions that are way more important than whose fault the grape juice spill was. Okay. All right. So I just did Carol Lozier, Jocelyn. So I think Jennifer Dixon.
Okay.
So Jennifer
Let's
Dixon.
see. Well, I'm kind of totally lost here.
Scroll back up to May 30th, 8:37 p.m.
I don't have 8:37 p.m. I only have 8:42.
Just pull down and it'll reset. It'll go.
All right, hold on a minute. It wants me to sign in. Let me see if that'll help.
Yeah, you got to sign in.
Okay, let's see.
All right, so we're gonna get back on track.
Still not liking it, so you're gonna have to read it.
All right, I will answer. I will read the question. All right, our next question on tonight's member call is Jennifer Dixon. Jennifer asks, so I did my first 5-day challenge and had 26 signups. Yay, good job. No one converted. Boo. Okay. The odder thing is no one did all 5 days either. This is a yoga-inspired, fitness-oriented challenge. I drip the videos out to them every day. Is that normal? I thought the challenge videos were good. They were hard. Maybe too hard. I mean, compared to the workout yoga videos, these are much harder. Okay. Yeah, I think that what you've done wrong here probably is, you've done this 5-day challenge and you've relied too much on your content. People don't do challenges to consume your content. Like Jocelyn just started a Facebook group that's kind of like a challenge group, but it's free. She's doing a June fitness challenge for Flip Lifestyle listeners. Okay. And the point of the group is not so Jocelyn can share workouts or meals or anything else.
And I'm not selling anything.
Not selling anything. It's just like, hey, we're in this together. She's getting good engagement. People are participating. They're talking about what they're going to do for the month. And the point of a challenge is to, one, give people an easy result they can definitely achieve by the end of the challenge. I'm talking almost can't fail. That's the point. Like, what you really should do in a challenge is 5 poses. We're going to master 5 poses by the end of the week. Down dog, Cobra, something else,
Well,
Warrior
and
1, 2, and 3.
like maybe
and
she's
it's
trying to
easy.
differentiate herself
True,
from
but
the total beginners, but call it an advanced yoga challenge.
Yeah, you've got to make sure that the right people come into it and it's the challenge that's right for them. This one clearly was not the right challenge because no one did it and no one converted. Like 26 people said, that sounds amazing. And then they got into it and they clearly said, this is not what I thought I was getting myself into. There was a disconnect in what you promoted and what you did, right? So maybe it was too hard. Maybe it wasn't the right thing. Maybe it wasn't easy enough. And no matter how advanced the challenge is, the result should be attainable by everybody in the group in the quickest time possible for the challenge. Okay. So my guess is you did not, whatever you said was going to be in there was not taken correctly by the people who signed up for the challenge. They got in, they saw this is not what I signed up for, and they left. Okay. So what you've got to do is you got to think more like the challenge is designed to give people a success, a quick win, and connect them as a community. They've got to feel like they're doing it together. It can't just be, I'm a leader and here's a video, right? It's got to be deeper. There's got to be discussion. There's got to be like a team or a movement mentality behind the challenge, or it just doesn't work. And if everybody at the end of the challenge was like, that was so hard, I couldn't do it. Well, I could never do what she's selling, right?
Well, and I want to also talk about how many people were signed up. So you said 26 people signed up, right? Is that what it said? And how many people actually showed up or like actually downloaded anything?
Yeah, she said like nobody finished it, the whole thing.
Okay,
Nobody,
so
not
if no one
person.
finished it, then you need to figure out why. So was it too hard? Like you need to ask them, "Hey, guys, I noticed a lot of you guys didn't finish the challenge. I was just wondering like what can I do to help you in future challenges? Would you like the moves to be simplified? Was it too much? Like did I give you too much content, too many things to do, too much homework?"
So you're saying like turn the negative into a positive and basically go say, what happened? Like that was a disaster. Like why didn't you
Yeah,
finish
but
the
I mean,
challenge?
frame it in a positive way. Just say, "Hey, I want to make the best content possible
Or I want to make
for
the
all of
next
my
challenge
yeah,
better.
and I want to be able to help you guys as much as I can. So because of that, I want to know what would you like to see in the future? What would help me help you become more successful,
Yeah.
basically."
So I actually got a fortune cookie with my dinner today.
Oh my!
So I'm actually going to quote the fortune cookie
Again,
that I
people,
opened
I'm
up.
sorry about
Okay.
this call.
So the fortune cookie said, failure is merely a chance to try again more intelligently. That's great, good, right? That's a good fortune cookie. And that was actually my fortune cookie with my dinner tonight. So, like, this is just your chance to figure out how your next challenge is going to be a lot better. Like, you need to reach out to all 26 of those people individually, send every one of them an individual email and say, hey, I saw you sign up for the challenge, but you didn't finish it. Why? And I wouldn't even plant any ideas in their head or multiple choice, or don't say, was it too hard? Was it too like get just open ended at first. When they write you back, follow up with, okay, well, was it too hard? Was it like, but let them speak first and get as much feedback as you can, and then do the challenge again. But redo it to make it,
Based on their feedback.
based on their feedback. Okay. Guys, sometimes you swing and you miss. Right. That's why in the Baseball Hall of Fame, all you got to do to be a Hall of Famer is be right 33% of the time. If you swung the bat and connected 33% of the time, you're in the Hall of Fame, right? You know what makes a great 3-point shooter in the NBA? If you're over 30%. You're one of the greatest of all time if you shoot over 30%. And it's the same thing online. You swing and you swing and you swing and you miss and you miss and you miss and you miss. And a lot of times in online business, a lot of times in any business, you're going to miss 7 out of 10 times, and you've got to keep getting better and keep refining and keep building your skills until you hit. And then once you hit on base, and you're off to the races. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking that for everyone on this call, they showed up and they got an answer from a fortune cookie.
Hey, listen.
Just
sometimes those things are right. We have to be, fate is true, and that I opened that fortune cookie because the universe knew that Jennifer would ask that question tonight. So you're welcome.
Okay.
All right. Can you scroll back up now to 841?
I've got 843. That's the first thing I've got.
Was it Monty? Was
Yeah.
that the first one? All right. So our next question comes from Dan. Dan writes, oh, no, that's not a question. Never mind. Let me scroll back up. So you've got 837.
I've got 843.
What is Monty's? What did he write?
One interpretation says I'm
Okay,
exempt. Okay, that's all I've got.
All right. So I'll do Monty's question and then you'll pick up from there.
I kind of like you reading the questions. Like,
I
it's
can
kind of
read them
nice.
sometimes. I'll read them sometimes. All right. So our next question comes from Monty, and Monty asks, what are y'all doing about sales tax? Do I have to know about sales tax in all the states where I have customers? What about international customers? Okay. Um, so sales tax is a weird thing because it's kind of the Wild West right now. We do have to pay sales tax for people who buy in Kentucky, and in
Each state is
each
different,
state is
which
so different right
makes it
now.
very complicated.
Yeah, but here's the deal. Sales tax, here's the principle that will fix it no matter what your accountant says. Okay. Maybe your accountant says we're going to go to all 50 states and we're going to get all the sales tax and make sure we pay them. Great. Maybe it says we only get them in certain states because that's all that's required. Whatever. But your pricing should absorb the sales tax. Okay. Sales tax is usually somewhere between 5 and 15%. I think the highest one's like 13% or something.
So
like
what
that.
we do is we just collect money and then we let the
Yes.
accountants figure it out and we pay the government.
So here's what happens. If your product's $45 and you're worried about sales tax, then you need to charge $49. And then you've got plenty of money to pay your sales tax, right? For any state that wants it, right? Because in every business, sales tax itself is passed to the consumer. When you go buy a pack of gum for $1 and sales tax is 10 cents in your state, you get charged $1.10. The person selling the gum did not pay the sales tax. You paid the sales tax. And that's how sales tax works. So I would say whatever you think you're going to price your product, raise the price 10%, and that should give you a nice average to cover any sales tax that needs to be collected. And then you tell your accountant to figure it out. This is not something you should be worried about.
Most systems, like where you can look at reports where people have bought, you should be able to look at it by state and by country. As far as the VAT tax and all that, listen, if you don't sell a lot, again, I'm not like a professional, I'm not a legal professional, I'm not an accountant.
We have never wasted 1 ounce of energy thinking about it.
But unless you sell like thousands and thousands of dollars over there, they are not concerned about you.
Yeah. And here's the deal. Again, this is not something that any business owner should ever worry about. Raise your prices 10%, and then your accountant should figure it out. If you have a business that's making money online and you're actually generating revenue, you should not ever be doing this by yourself. You should be letting an accountant handle it for you because they know the rules, they know the laws, and they know the proper thing to tell you, right? So raise your price 10%. That'll give you plenty of cushion if you owe taxes anywhere else. If you're really worried about it, raise it 15%, right? That's all you got to do. If you're charging 49, raise it to 59. If you're charging 100, raise it to 120. Like if this is really a concern for you, do that to take your mind at ease. I've always got enough money now to pay my taxes, and I'm going to go hire an accountant to figure out what states I owe and what states I don't. Okay. So it has not been a major issue from us. I honestly cannot even remember ever talking about it in the last 4 or 5 years. So if we're not talking about it, you probably don't need to talk about it either.
Here's the thing, like the government wants you to make an effort to pay your taxes. Is anyone's tax preparation 100% accurate? Probably not.
It's probably not perfect. It can't be. But again, it's definitely not if you're doing it.
They want you to make an effort, and as long as you're making an effort and doing the best you can, most of the time you're probably not going to get audited and probably will not have to worry about it.
And here's another thing too. Here's what the government wants you to do more than anything. Go make more money, because the more money you make, the more money you pay in income taxes.
And
So
if
that's
you're making an honest effort to pay your taxes,
it'll be fine.
then
It'll be fine.
everything is most likely going to be all
And
right.
imagine this. Imagine if you did. Imagine if you sold $10,000 of stuff in one state, and they came back and said, "We need our taxes." Well, it's not going to be an astronomical amount, and if you're always saving a little and charging a little more, you're always going to have enough money to cover it. Like that's the real problem with taxes and everything else, is people don't pay attention and they're not prepared for them. But if you're charging $39 and you raise your price to $49, you've more than covered any amount of tax money that could ever be done, as long as you save that extra money. So basically, raise your prices, tell your accountant you want to know everywhere you might owe taxes, and pay it, and you're done.
And again, this is a disclaimer that we are not legal professionals.
You're not legal professionals.
We are not accounting professionals.
We're not
Please
lawyers.
do not follow this advice.
Yeah, exactly. Check with your accountant. Let them take care of it, and you'll be fine. Jocelyn and I, when we hire an accountant, we delegate that to them, and we don't think about it anymore, because our job is to go sell more stuff in all the states that could possibly tax us. right? I want to be taxed. My goal is to raise my tax bracket. That's what you want. You want to pay more taxes because if you pay more taxes, you're climbing the ladder of success and you're becoming more successful, right? And then they can figure out how to pay less taxes. But it's not something that you should be worried about. Okay. Monique follows up with, I met with my CPA last week and she's trying to figure out how my business fits into Alabama law. One interpretation says I'm exempt from sales tax. Another interpretation says content is just like physical products. You are going to have to make a decision because it's your tax return. Go check with another accountant and see what they say. And really let your accountant make the decision for you and based on that information. Like if
Well, and here's the thing, there are gray areas and like sometimes you just have to make a call.
yes,
And if you get audited and they say, "Hey, guess what? You owe us money because, you thought it was this and it was something else," then you may have to pay it. But here's the thing, you may not.
that's right.
So a lot of times we will make the decision, "Hey,
If
the
they
way
come
we
back,
interpret it is this."
right.
And, if you interpret it that way, then
It's also why we also save it. We have a tax war chest. Like we have a bank account just for tax money, and we usually save about somewhere around 5 to 10%, probably more than we should save for taxes. And if we ever get audited, and if we ever missed anything, we've got a little extra money saved aside to pay the difference. Because that's what they do. They don't just come put you in jail. They don't send men in black after you to like put you in handcuffs and carry you out to the courthouse. Like all they do in an audit is they say, "Oh, we looked over this, and dude, you owe us $600 more, right?"
all right,
But
no problem.
yeah, okay, no problem. Here, I'll pay it. Another buddy of mine, he's a six-figure earner. He's earning between $500 and $600,000 a year. They did his tax. They went back. He got audited. They went back over his taxes, and he owed $8,000 more, right? But he had it saved because he's planning ahead. So, like I said, raise your prices, but don't raise your standard of living. You save the difference. And if you ever get audited, you'll always have a big war chest there to pay it. It's not a big deal. Don't be afraid of taxes. Stop worrying about taxes and put the money back into making more money. Eventually, you will make so much money, it doesn't matter how much they tax you because the other half of the pie is just as big. So go do that. That's what we want you to focus your energy on. Let your accountant make some calls for you and figure it out. If you ever get audited, you're probably fine and just pay the difference. If you're not, and you'll be okay. Okay.
All right.
This,
yes. Okay. So this question is from Rebecca. Rebecca says, "My question is, I'm going to a big nursing conference as an attendee. I want to network and meet with my fans, but not in a scammy way because I'm not paying to be a sponsor. I emailed my list and about 10 people said they would be there and I got their contact information. How can I best utilize this opportunity to network? There are about 4,000 nurses at the conference. I want to promote my higher education site and my workshops for nurses and my continuing education for nurses."
this is interesting because Jocelyn and I have got some opportunities coming up that are very similar to this in live settings, and we've been thinking about ways to be respectful to the place,
But still take advantage of the opportunity.
opportunity. Okay. Now, I would say for one thing, for your fans that have already acknowledged and they're going to be there and you're going to meet them, I would just have something ready to hand them. Like you can make a special. You could make a special business card, and on the back of it, it has a discount for some of your products. Then you tell them that as you hand it to them.
Is
right?
there an opportunity for you to do some type of paid sponsorship?
Could you buy a booth?
Could you buy some advertising? Could you sponsor a snack break or a coffee break? Would there be an opportunity for you to do a giveaway at the conference? Like, could you contact the conference heads and say, "Hey, I would like to give away a 3-month membership to my community. All you have to do is read this," and let them read the evidence-based birth community is a community for XYZ, and
this break is sponsored by evidence-based birth, or it's sponsored by Rebecca. Like, can you buy your way in? Like, this is actually the shortcut to success for anybody that wants to hear it and anybody that's willing to bet on themselves. Like, when you're trying to figure out something to do, figure out a way you can buy in. That's how you do that. Like, think about how the only way to get into a high stakes poker game is to buy in. Like, they're not going to let you do anything or sit at the big boy table unless you buy in.
And
so don't be afraid to just go be like, "Oh, there's a booth for $1,000. I'll buy that, and then I'll do whatever I want the rest of the day."
And I would be willing to bet if you would just reach out to them and say, "Hey, I'm really wanting to support this conference. And, I was thinking about a way that I could do that. Here are some things I had in mind. Do you have any other opportunities? They're probably not going to turn that down.
Yeah. I mean, your only other option is whatever you're giving away as a business card or as a contact piece of information or as a point of contact to not only the people that know you but the people that meet you, is to by hand everyone you meet, give them your information that lets them go to your website. That's very limited. You're not going to meet more than probably 30 to 40 people at the event. If you want to reach the 4,000 nurses at the conference, then figure out a way. Like figure it out. Everything is figure outable. Say, and you may not like the answer, but go out there and say, how can we make sure that all 4,000 of those nurses hear about our website by the end of the conference? And you write down some ideas, you reach out to the organizers, and you will find an answer. You may not go with the answer. It may be too expensive. It may not be the right time. They may be sold out. But like that's your only hope. That's your only solution if that's what you want. So you can do the, ground and pound, shake the hands, give them an information thing, and on the back of it, it says your domain and hope for the best, or go buy your way into the conference. We are actually thinking about buying our way into a conference later this year because we know it's going to be a big deal and we really need to be able to promote to everyone there. And the only way to comfortably do that is to buy in. So you may have to do it.
Okay, I had another idea just now. So these people who you've already reached out to who are a part of your community, could you do like an offsite meetup with them and maybe invite other people to the meetup too? So like if you meet people who might be a good prospect for you, be like, "Hey, we're having a meetup for some people in my community. I'd love to have you there. Like here's the information."
You could. Oh, so you're saying piggyback the event with like a
Yeah.
side event?
So
People do
like
that all the time.
yeah, so
Yeah.
if there's not a good opportunity or one that you want to do in the venue, then maybe you could go outside the venue.
And then you could kind of advertise that at those people who are coming to the event. Like you could find a way to maybe hit them with some Facebook ads or hit them with some other ads.
Could you advertise in the program? I
Yeah,
don't
the
know.
first event that we ever did, the first live event we ever did was San Diego. And we purposefully planned it during social media marketing world because we knew that it would be an extra draw. Like there's 3,000 or 4,000 people go to that event. And we knew that it would be an extra sell. Hey, we're going to be in town too. We're going to do a live event. It's going to be the day before social media marketing world. Bam. 20 of those people, of those 3,000 people, have to be in town and want to do something else. So that was actually how we launched our live events. Is we piggybacked off of a bigger event until our brand was big enough to carry events on its own. So, those are some good ideas. So basically, just go out and find a way to get in the room. You may want to go the low key route and just say, everybody I meet, I'll give a thing.
And I think that's a great way to start.
A great way to start. Or you may want to buy your way in, or you may want to do your own little thing, on the side. Maybe you could do a party and on the first day of the event, and all day you hand out invitations to that party where it's going to be. Come meet Rebecca.
Do they have a Facebook page? Can you post it on the Facebook page?
Yeah, and just go. Maybe you hand it out to 30 people. They go tell 30 people, and all of a sudden 60 people show up at your meetup, right? And you just rent a coffee shop or something to do it in. So, you got to get creative. You got to find a way. If you want it bad enough, a door will open.
All right, Sippy. This question is from Sippy. It says, I'm trying to finalize a recurring revenue for my business. My people won't sign up for a monthly package unless they get the item, try it on, and have the option to exchange, which is a huge pain.
So basically, she actually sells a physical product here. This is clothing.
Okay. I would also have to give them a cheaper price since it's monthly, but my retailers would get upset if people can get the product cheaper elsewhere. If I drop one item every few weeks instead of tons at the beginning of each season, it would probably get the repeat customers buying more often. I'm thinking this will be my model, but I'm wondering if you have other ideas or how I can prove this since it's still launch to launch.
I would not, I know this is not what you want to hear, but like, I'm not sure if you don't have a legal agreement with your vendors to not offer it cheaper elsewhere. I'm not sure why you're that worried about it. And I'm not sure if you're even worried about ghosts here a little bit, because that's like they're watching you, waiting for you to do something that they don't like. So I wouldn't worry too much about it being a cheaper price, unless you could come up with some way to like group things in and have more things to try on, and then they send 2 or 3 back, so you charge a little more. Like maybe the real answer is charge a much higher price, and maybe Like, for example, could you send people 3 sizes and they automatically send you 2 back and you just prepare that again, like for the next month? Like, then you just put 3 things in one package, send it to them, charge more for it, right? But it's like the same item, but 3 sizes or something like that. They just pay more. Like, that might be one way you could do it. Or negotiate better deals with your vendors, like talk to them about it and see what it is. But I don't think price is the reason people would want it cheaper through the membership. I think it will be convenience. So you don't have to go, like, we use Amazon because we don't have to leave our house. So
Well,
that would seem to be the
mostly
same thing.
because there are no stores around here. Like we have such limited options. So I buy pretty much everything from Amazon. So I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking about what you could maybe do. Like I'm thinking about some of the other clothing models that are out there. Clothing is a little bit tricky because like you said, it is a lot dependent on people trying it on, if they like the way it looks, if they like the color on them, all that kind of thing. So I don't know. I'm kind of just thinking through what you could do
I
on it.
mean, the things about like things like Stitch Fix and other things is they have people who recommend what they should wear. Like that's one of their big selling points. It's not just the clothes. Like I feel like you've always been in this business so concentrated on the clothing, right? That it's kind of limiting what you're actually doing. Like, is there a way that you could couple this with something, like a content driven, like a magazine or something? Like, for example, like Isaac has a subscription to like GameStop's whatever, and we get the magazine, but the magazine really just like has tips and tactics and information, but he also gets these discounts where he can go and buy more video games cheaper. So maybe the membership is really like, yeah, there's a clothing component to it, but like, could
Yeah,
it
I
be more
wonder.
content driven and have like special disc? It's like you buy those cards with restaurants, from the band, and you can go to all the restaurants in town. You have a discount, so you pay them X dollars for the thing, and you get all the discounts. Like, could you do something more content driven or discount driven, like a Sam's Club model? That's not just send them clothing. I mean,
I wonder if the clothing could be quote free. So it's not free, they're paying for it each month. But like I think maybe that would discourage a little bit of the returns. Like if you sent me something, if I bought this piece of content or this magazine or whatever it was, and then I got a free shirt, well,
oh, I see what you're
it's
saying.
not the best color for me, or maybe it's a little bit big, but it was free,
So
so whatever.
you're basically trying to, what you're telling her is to reposition the clothing as the bonus. Like, hey, this membership is $29 a month. You're gonna get content, discount card, whatever, to go order what you want, but we're gonna throw in something free. So like the money would definitely cover it, but like you've totally changed the psychology into it. Like, oh, the shirt was just a free add-on. You can't return it. Like,
Yeah,
it's
like
even if
it
it
would be
doesn't
no
fit.
returns.
Yeah, like no returns, no whatever. Like, we're gonna send you a free sample. If
Or
it
it
doesn't
might be
fit,
a sample
whatever.
of something else. Like maybe you could develop relationships with other people in your space and maybe you could send people samples. So it would be sort of like a little box. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good idea though, because the problem here seems to be they tried on exchange it, which is a huge pain. So the huge pain we're trying to eliminate is the huge pain of them sending back the item. So to do that, you just do what Jocelyn says. The membership itself is like pay $20 to get 20% off everything plus this cool content newsletter thing or whatever. I don't know exactly what that looks like, but you basically sell them something else, and we're going to throw in a free item for you to check, and you put in your terms and conditions. It's basically just so they can feel the fabric, look at it. If it doesn't fit perfect, then they can go use that 20% discount to order something else. But you've totally repositioned it as the clothing is the free thing, and you cannot for any reason send it back. Okay. So if you don't like the refunds in that particular thing, figure out a
Just
way to
change the
eliminate
game.
the refund. Yeah, change the game, change the rules, and don't let them have any refunds on that thing. Don't let them exchange it. Position it more as a sample to feel the quality of the fabric and to feel the thing. Suggest to them, hey, if you can't wear it, give it away as a gift, right? Like, give them other things to do besides send it back, and then give them more value that's more information and content driven. And you should be able to eliminate that problem. So I think this is definitely a change the rules. Stop trying to think like everybody else. Stop trying to give them clothing. We've taught. I know that we have helped you with this clothing thing for a while. We're still going to send that extra inventory to people, but now we're not going to worry if it fits them. Now we're not going to worry if it's perfect. Anna, Joe, what are you doing? Anna, get down, move, quit. You can't change in here. Lord have mercy. Go get out of here, Anna. This call has been the most chaotic call in the history of the world.
We've
Okay?
had carpet stains. I've been crawling around on the floor cleaning the carpet.
Our daughter was trying to change clothes off camera. Can you stand, Anna Joe? Probably gonna have to give her a towel or something. I don't know. Oh
Anna,
my
go in the
gosh!
bathroom, okay?
Turn the camera. Hold on. I'm going to turn the camera off for just a second and mute the camera. Hold on 1 second. All right. Sorry about that. Had a kid walk in. All right. So back to Sippy's question, real quick. The moral of the story is we want to give away clothing in the thing. We want people to see the quality and craftsmanship. The thing we have to eliminate is the returns. So we have to reframe the offer for the recurring revenue with some other value point and reposition the clothing as a bonus sample that cannot be returned. That's your answer. That's the way to do it. Now you just have to figure out what it looks like all the way around it. Okay.
Okay. Let me see here. Okay. Sorry, I'm just going through all the questions here. Okay, Kareem says, I am going to Spain for 1 month. This is a combination of professional foreign language training and leisure. Do you have any ideas what I can do to promote my Spanish programs while I am in Spain?
I would do a live video for 15 minutes every day while you're in Spain, talking about Spanish culture, and then finish up with basically that you are such a good Spanish teacher. You are actually in Spain. And if they want to learn from someone authentic who's actually been in these places, they need to learn from you. Like, this goes back to an earlier question we had. We were talking about documenting everything. Like, this is a lot of video and pictures and things like that can really set you apart, because all of the things that you do in Spain, you get to put on your website. You get to put in your marketing. You get to put in your promotional stuff to let people know how authentic your Spanish is and how much, and you've been there, and it's not just a run of the mill Spanish teacher, right? Like, so document it, talk about it live, make it a big deal. Be like, I'm here, I'm doing this. If you want me to teach your kid this stuff too, bam, there you go. Right. So document everything. Like, we even document when we go on like fun trips. Like, if we go on a vacation, we're documenting the whole thing.
There's a camera in my face all the time.
There's always a camera in Jocelyn's face and my face and the kid's face. Like, we all have cameras, we all have iPhones and iPods. So everybody's filming footage and it's all getting put together in a thing. But we've got all the footage if we need it. Then if I'm somewhere, I'll whip up my phone, do a Facebook Live, and talk about it live.
Yeah, I would love to see you get some of the cultural aspects, like, maybe go into a restaurant and just let them know, hey, I have a website where I teach Spanish to people who are English speakers. And I was wondering if I could take a look at some of these things that you do, maybe show it on a video, like get some of those real authentic experiences and just, start a YouTube channel. Start talking about it, give people something to look up and see what Spanish culture is really like.
The more authentic and more authority that you can present on this trip, the better your brand will grow. So even a vacation is a chance to promote your brand. Okay.
She also says your hair looks different.
I've had a hat on all day. It's just all smashed down. All right. So we skipped Jeff Slaughter's question, Jocelyn, but now I can't scroll back up to it.
Oh, brother.
I got it. I'm loading up here. I'm going to log into Chatwing so I can actually.
Jennifer said, I decided I needed popcorn. This call was so entertaining.
I wish you could share GIFs in the chat. We need to figure out if we can do that. All right,
I don't know. It's like just when I think that things can't get any crazier on these calls, then,
this
like,
has definitely been the most off the rails member call of all, however many we've done of these. I can say that honestly, because like 5 minutes before the call, it just went off the chain. Okay, let me scroll back up to.
Yeah, everything was like totally normal until then.
All right, let's see. Let's see. There's Jennifer Dixon. There's Sippy. Hold on a second. We are trying to load earlier messages, but it is not working. Okay, here we go.
Well, and then before this, so before the grape water incident, I also took a shower because I forgot that we were having this call. We normally don't do a lot at night. So yeah, I took a shower and like took all my makeup off, and I was like,
Jocelyn
"Oh,
totally forgot there was a member
okay."
call.
So yeah, you got the real me tonight, but it's all good. I've already been cleaning up carpet on my hands and knees.
I
So
think you're beautiful just the way you are, Jocelyn.
right,
You don't need any makeup.
you should say that since it's clearly your fault. The water spill.
Yeah.
The people
The
voted.
people have spoken. All right. So Jeff says, why won't it scroll down? Okay. Jeff says, hi, guys. I'm getting ready to. Hold on. Our next question comes from Jeff, and Jeff says, hi, guys. I'm getting ready to start marketing my Christmas script during the peak search season of July through November. So what Jeff sells is he writes Christmas plays, and churches buy his scripts so that they can use them at their churches to present their plays. Okay. I spent $300 on Facebook advertising this year, got 200 script downloads for free, and sold 10 scripts at $97 each. That's
which is awesome.
$300 for $1,000 return. Like,
yeah,
if you can spend 3 and get back 10, you do it all day.
I'll take that bet any day.
My initial goal this year was to 10x results from last year, but I'm wondering, with at least 300,000 churches in the United States and probably more, do you think I can scale this business times 50 to gross $50,000 this year? Well, I would say that at this point, like, here's the general rule of ads. Like, you need to reinvest all the money you just made back into more ads, because if 300 did 1,000 and you put let's say you keep 100, put 900 back in, then that ad should do 3,000 more.
Okay, so it basically boils down to math. So, all right, say there are 300,000 churches, and say all 300,000 of them were aware of you. Probably about 15,000 of them would actually opt in. Of those 15,000, probably about
You could sell
750 would buy.
at least. You know
So if you did that times $97, I mean, that's going to be 72,000, but that's assuming that every single person knows about you. So, that's a pretty big assumption.
And they won't know you if you don't invest back in the ads. So the moral of the story is, you spent 300 to make 1,000. Well, go spend 1,000 and see if you can make it back. I mean, you're going to have to keep rebetting the money to grow. That's the only way to do ads. Like, you have to reinvest back in until you keep growing. And everything that we have ever learned about ads says, if you make $1, if you spend $1 and you make back $1.01, how much money should you spend on your ads? As much as possible. Because if you spend $1 million, you'll make $1 million plus $1 million pennies back, right? So, depending on who you're targeting and what you're doing, it's hard to say because we don't know.
You can definitely make a lot more.
You can make a lot more.
I don't know if we can 50x it, but why would you not try? Like, that's a great return.
I would raise your prices. That's one way to do it too. Like, you can spend the same amount of money on ads, but this time charge $197 for your script. I mean,
or put it on your website as the list price, and then 97 is your sale price on your ads.
If you want to make more money, I'm just saying.
Yeah, like there's other ways to do
double
it.
your prices or get more people to look at it. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a limit. I mean, I do think you're limiting yourself by how much you're charging, right? I don't know what other scripts cost, but if yours is the best, you should charge whatever you think it's worth. I mean, I would think that would be worth more than $97 for a major, church production that they're going to probably use for a few years in a row, right? Because it seems like most churches do the same play 2 or 3 times in a row. So maybe
they sometimes will cycle them, I think. So maybe you'll do one this year, and then 2 or 3 years later you'll do another one.
Like, what if you spent $300 and you charge $297? Like, then you're starting to think about it.
Yeah. What's the chance, Jeff, of writing another one? Like, is that something that
because he's got to
yeah, I'm just wondering if that might be an option, is you could remarket to the people who have already bought from you last year.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think you're in one of 2 camps here, Jeff. You're either going to have to go all in with advertising and keep reinvesting every month until you start hitting this tipping point of making thousands of dollars,
which makes the most sense.
Which makes a lot of sense. Or you're going to have to raise your price. I mean, I still think $97 is way too cheap for your script. I mean, you put the time in to charge for the script. They're going to
But
use
it's
it over
also
and over.
churches. I mean, there are a lot of big churches, but then there's also a lot of small churches.
Well, I know this. Our church spent thousands of dollars on vacation Bible school. So just to have the content to get on stage and show it there, and I mean thousands. Like they literally spent more than $1,000
no,
just
we
for.
also go to a really big church.
That's true, but there's a lot of big churches. So I mean,
Yeah, I don't know the
but
I don't know
my
the right
point. Like,
answer.
let's forget what's right or wrong to do for churches or not for churches, or how much money churches have or how much they don't have. If you want to make $50,000, you're going to have to get it in front of a lot more people, which requires a lot more ad spend, or you're going to have to get it in front of fewer people and raise your prices. Like there's no way to get to $50,000. $50,000 is how many sales is that? How many sales is that? $50,000. 50,000. And I'm going to divide that by 97. Divide that by 97.
That should be like 500.
Equals. You're going to have to sell 515 scripts. You've sold 10 so far. Okay. So you've got from now until Christmas, which is 6 months to do it. So maybe you can. I don't know. But right now in a month, you sold 10 scripts. If you sell 10 over 6 months, that's only 60. But if your price was $297, 50,000 divided by $297, which you could make a payment plan too, by the way. You could totally make that a $29 a month for 10 months or something like that. Payment plans are a form of recurring revenue. Now you only have to find 168 churches. So maybe a payment plan for $297, and you self finance it over 10 months. They can pay $29 a month to have your thing. Okay, maybe that's right. Or you just raise your price to 300 and you make 168 sales, or you go for 500 sales. Okay, so again, the only way to make more money on a product is for more people to see it or to raise your price. Anybody out there in any niche, no matter what you do, you cannot make more money unless you do one of those two things. So those are your options, and you just have to pick the one that's best for you, your budget, and what you want to put the work into.
Okay. Let me see.
I bet he could get $297 for that script, especially if he had some kind of payment plan option, like 4 payments or something like that.
All right. I'm down to the last question. So if somebody had a question that we missed, go ahead and put it back in because
yeah, we
it's
usually
been
have
a little
spreadsheet
crazy
and things like that, but it's been crazy in here tonight.
No, we have no spreadsheet tonight.
But do
We
you
are
see us
just winging
roaring
it.
through it and doing it anyway? You all need it.
I mean, this is pretty much the most disastrous call of all time.
And it doesn't matter. Everybody's getting their answer. Like, you got to remember that when you guys are doing stuff, like nothing's going to go right ever. Like,
I
don't worry
spent
about
the
it.
first like 30 minutes of this call crawling around on the carpet with a bottle of OxyClean
And napkins.
and paper towels.
Yes.
So, if your live thing is not that bad, then you're doing better than us.
If you are not cleaning grape juice out of a carpet during your next webinar or live call,
you win.
Did great. You did awesome, man. You did so good. So, like, don't be afraid of this stuff. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like,
all right. And that's actually relevant to this next question. Okay. This question is from Sippy. She says, I'm going to challenge myself to go live for 30 days because I'm terrified of live. I hate being on there with so few people signing in, but I'm going to challenge myself to do it anyway. Do you have advice on what to talk about each day that would keep them coming back? Just clothes or other things? Is it really necessary to go live? I use Instagram stories every day. It's the live thing that scares me. Is it all that important?
I think live is definitely much better. You just get so much more engagement. And like, even if only like 3 or 4 people show up, they're probably commenting and it's easier to just riff off of what they're saying. When I go live, I actually don't look at the comments or the chat or even the total number of people that are there while I'm live. I don't do it until later in the live, until I've said what I want to say, because I don't want to care about how many people are there. I just assume that everyone who has ever known about Flipped Lifestyle is listening. That's my assumption going into any live video. But I do think that going live is much better than uploading just regular video. Now, there has to still be a method to the madness. For example, what you should do if you say this, like, let's say that you are going to go live 30 days in a row. That's just your challenge. You want to do that to get over the fear of going live. That's fine. But what we're doing is we're looking for things that are working. So what you would do at the end of 30 days is you would say, okay, I did 30 days live. let's look back at what worked. So let's say they're all Facebook Lives. I do 30 Facebook Lives and I look at it and I realize that this one video got the most views, the most shares, and the most comments. Now you boost that post or you start an ad to that post for the next 30 days. And then you have an ad that targets people who watch that video to go buy your product, right? And then you do another 30 days of live. And then you find the one that worked the best. That one got a lot more reach. That one got a lot more shares. There's a method to the madness. There's a strategy behind doing it. It's not just going live. Does that make sense? So yes, I do think live is better. You're always going to sell more live. Every video you do should start and end with a pitch. Do not just do content. Start and say, I'm Sippy. This is my website. I sell these things. They're awesome. Go buy them. But today we're going to talk about this. And then at the end of it, say, don't forget, I'm Sippy. I sell these awesome things at this domain. Go buy it now, because you want to leave breadcrumbs to your products everywhere you go. Or it could be an opt-in, whatever you want to do. Promote the best one and then do it again. So have a strategy behind it. Be live, go live. I mean, if you can't put 15 minutes into your business to go live, guys, then you don't care enough about your business. You just can't do it. If you're not making any content, if you won't start a camera and turn it off for 15 minutes, then it's not about fear anymore. It's just about you're not doing what it takes to win. So yes, I think it's better. Yes, I think you should do it, but I think you should have a strategy behind it to pitch and sell and get opt-ins on every single video. And I would just talk about anything related to their life. I wouldn't necessarily talk about just your clothing that you sell. I would talk about anything. You could talk about parenting. You could talk about relationships. You could talk about whatever. It doesn't matter. The three main rules are inspire, educate, and entertain. Those are the three things that all your social media need to do. You need to be inspiring, you need to educate them, and you need to entertain them. If you can do those three things, you can do it. So just figure out a way to do that. Like, what's inspiring to my audience? I'm going to talk about that today. Tomorrow, talk about how you can educate them, maybe about their product or about what they do in your niche, and then entertain them. Just get on and be silly sometimes and have fun. Maybe your child will come in and start putting their pajamas on camera, or maybe you'll spill grape juice on the carpet.
No idea what that
idea what's going to
might
happen.
be like. I don't know.
Exactly. So, like, don't worry too much about it, but I do think live is better.
It's better for me because I can't go back and edit it,
I'm not sure why you're afraid of being on live. I know people get afraid of being on camera, but like, there's really no reason to be afraid. Like, what's going to happen? Like maybe someone doesn't like your video, but that could happen if it's pre-recorded. So try not to let the fear hold you back. Fear and nervousness are not the same thing.
And what you're going to talk about, you're going to ask your people. You're going to say, hey, I'm getting ready to start doing some live videos. I can't wait to talk to you guys. What kind of things would you like to hear me talk about? And people will tell you. They'll tell you some ideas. Maybe it's a product that you really like.
Open your customer service inbox and go back through all of your old emails and find any question that anyone has ever asked you about your product. You now have your next 30 live videos. Like I did a Facebook and a YouTube live today for about, I think it was 11 minutes. And I would just logged into the community and found a really interesting question that I thought would be a good video. And I didn't really research it for SEO or anything. I just said, this is what I'm going to talk about today. And that's what I did. So your customers and your followers are your best source of questions and things to talk about.
All right, we got two more. The first is from Jennifer. Jennifer says, I also lead teacher training programs in my yoga studio where I develop the curriculum. I've been thinking of maybe trying that angle instead of the workout angle. So I think what she means is that she's thinking about developing a product for fitness instructors rather than people who are taking fitness classes.
Yeah, I think that's viable. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
She says it's not her passion.
Then I'd be careful doing it.
And then she also says yoga instructors, like teachers, don't do it because it makes money. It's usually people practicing who have the money. Because I said I would sell whatever brings the most money in.
Yeah. Look, here's the deal. I think that so recently you did this challenge and you kind of got knocked down, right? And now that's the gut instinct for a lot of people when they launch something, even if it's something small and it doesn't work, is, well, what else can I try? I think you're trying to look for something new to try to kind of brush away the pain from a recent failure. And stick with what you're doing. You've got a good idea. You've got 28 people in your last challenge to raise their hand. You just didn't get the sale. That's okay. You've proven that people are interested in what you're talking about. You just have to talk about it better, right? So I would be careful about starting a new product right here. I would, especially one that you're not passionate about. Like, let's make the thing work. Commit to it. Like, guys, it's so important when you commit to your idea to brush off failure, to pick yourself up, and to keep moving in your idea. There were dozens of times that we could have given up on our first businesses. There were dozens of times that we could have given up on flipped lifestyle, right? Flipped lifestyle was not this lucrative thing that it is now. Back then it just wasn't. Like, we had to stick to it. We had to go through failed launches. We had to go through failed things. We had to, we didn't make as much money as we thought we would on this thing. Like, we had to go through that and keep moving forward. Even if you fall on your face, you're still moving forward. And the problem is, the reason most people fail online is because they give up too soon. They give up before the tipping point. Sometimes right before their greatest success, they pivot and they change direction. So in this case, I would say be careful. Keep that on the back burner. Put it in your idea book and go relaunch that challenge and go do the thing you actually are passionate about. And let's see if we can make it work a little bit longer, and then we'll go a different direction. Okay.
All right. Let me see here.
I think sign, baby, sign.
Okay, that is Cynthia. Cynthia says, after students take my sign language course, they want to know what to do next, how to keep learning in a safe space. I thought about opening a membership level on my site for the forum only. This way, students can still access others and ask questions, post sign language videos for feedback, etc. Do you have any suggestions?
Usually, our suggestion, whenever your customers are asking for something, give it to them and see what happens.
Especially if it's something easy for you to do. I mean, that's super easy.
That sounds like, yeah. Well, so it's basically just opening a new membership level where they can practice. Yeah, I don't think there's any downside to that. Like, usually giving people what they want makes them pay longer. So yeah, try it. There's some different things we're about to change. A lot of the options that we offer, people have asked for, and we experiment all the time with them. Like, we try new membership levels, we try new membership tiers, we try new membership pricing. We're going to take away some of the membership offers that we have now pretty soon, because we don't like the way they worked out. So if some of the things are working, do it. Try new things. If it doesn't work the way you want it, then you can get rid of it later. So I don't see a downside for opening a new level and helping people, get more out of your community. If they're getting more out of it, they're going to pay for longer. All right, Sarah Robinson.
All right. We've kind of been talking about this a little bit.
Okay.
Sarah says, when I'm not doing live videos, as in my customers don't want to wait for the slow cooker or the Instant Pot to finish. I mean, why not?
Because Sarah sells like meal plans and stuff for like.
That's clearly like riveting
Instant
video watching a slow cooker.
Time lapse. You got to time lapse the slow cooker, Sarah.
So should I still share about my program at the beginning and the end, do you think? And I typed a very emphatic, all capital yes.
Yes. So explain this question to me. I don't really understand.
So basically, she's wanting to know if she records a video and then later replays it, should she pitch her program?
Yes, you should. Yeah.
Why would you not?
Any content that becomes public, I'll double down on this. Every emails you send should pitch your product. Every Facebook Live you do should pitch your product. Every replay that you send out should pitch your product. Every single blog post you write should pitch your product. You should never, ever create a piece of content that doesn't somehow lead back to your product. Okay. So that is sales 101. Like, you've got to pitch your product. Okay. Sarah, she follows up here. She says, when it's not live, I always do at the end and in the middle, but it feels too salesy at the beginning. You can mask it a little bit though, Sarah. Like, you can say, like, I always start every one of my videos with, hey, this is Shane Sams, co-host of the Flip Lifestyle podcast and leader of the Flip Your Life community over at fliplifestyle.com. Like, I always say that at the beginning of things. So it's kind of like not a pitch. It's like, I'm here. So you could say, is it Sidetrack Sarah? Is that what her website is?
I think so, yeah.
So you could say, hey, this is Sarah Robinson of sidetracksarah.com, creator of the Instapot and slow cooker meal plan membership thing. Okay. Like you could just say that. You could have a little tag. It doesn't have to be a pitch, but it's like you mention it, your website, and your product at the beginning. You pitch in the middle, you pitch at the end. So you should let people, because here's the deal. What if someone watches the first part of your video and never makes it to the middle? What if they come in late and only watch the middle? What if they hit one of the little timestamps and they go to 2 minutes? Because in the comments, somebody posted 2 minutes and they clicked on that instead. What if they posted at the end? You gotta give them a chance to hear about everything.
Yeah, and you can even say like, "Hey, this free content video is brought to you by my program. You can learn more at fliplifestyle.com/flip your life." I can't even talk. Like, what was that? I don't know. That's just like a perfect ending to this crazy call. If you guys made it all the way through this,
welcome.
I mean,
Let
props
me
to
comment
you.
one more thing on Sarah's question here, though. She says, "I feel too salesy, and I don't want to alienate them at the beginning."
Sarah,
that is an emotional response to a ghost. That is probably not true.
If they don't like it, they're not going to buy anyway.
That's right. If they leave in the beginning because they're like, "Well, I can't believe she mentioned her website," and they're out, that you don't want that customer. You know what I'm saying? So don't. Usually, if Jocelyn and I have a challenge that we do for each other, like if we say something like, "I feel like," or "it sounds too," or "I just don't want to," like we question that emotional statement, because if you start this thing with, "I feel like it's too salesy," or "I feel like I'm going to alienate them," like usually starting with "I feel like" is a fear or an obstacle that only you are experiencing. It's kind of like when you walk in, I read this thing the other day that said, like when you walk into a party, like let's say you had a spot on your shirt, you are so worried that someone is going to see the spot on your shirt. But the funny thing is, everyone else is so worried about their own shirt, they'll never notice yours. They don't even care. 99% of people won't even pay attention to it or notice it that you're talking to, let alone everyone in the room. And it's the same thing. It's like, I feel so. And like, don't even worry about that. Like, your goal for making content is to tell people about the thing you sell. There's no other excuse or reason to create all this content, guys. So you should proudly promote your thing as much as possible in all of your content. If you do that, you'll make more sales. You will get more hate. You will chase some people off, but you'll make more sales in the process. So it won't matter, because you can just go spend your money while everyone's mad at you. Okay. All right. So guys, thanks for tuning in tonight. It was a unmitigated disaster.
Thanks for watching me clean carpet for 30 minutes.
Jocelyn gave you her best carpet cleaning tip. Blotch first.
Yeah, it didn't.
OxyClean later.
Yeah,
call Stanley Steamer tomorrow. That's pretty much the process.
Don't do it the way I did it. It didn't work.
So thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Hope that you got some value out of all these amazing questions. Great questions tonight, guys. As always, if you have anything else that you need, go to the Flip Your Life forums and post a new post in there tonight. Would love for everybody who's logged into the community right now, don't leave until you go look through the activity feed or the general forum and reply to somebody. Go reply to somebody's question. Maybe you could go answer a question for somebody that you have the answer to. Go to the success forum and celebrate someone's success. We are all better together. We are all in this to win this, and we are all here, so we might as well help each other, serve each other, and ask all the questions that we need to get it out. So go do that before you log out. Set your action plan for next week, and we will see you next time.
Join us in Lexington, fliplifestyle.com/live.
Yeah, we have a huge announcement probably going to come out on the podcast next week. I think I'm just going to go tell him here, Jocelyn. I'm just going to tell him here. Should I tell him?
I'm not even 100% sure what you're talking about.
About 2020?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. We have decided that we're not doing Flip Your Life Live in 2020.
Most likely.
So it's maybe 2021. But like, here, look, guys, it'll probably, we might do some smaller events, but if you're going to come to Flip Your Life Live and you don't have a ticket, you need to get it right now at fliplifestyle.com/live, because you're not going to be able to do it next year. Okay. We're having a full meeting about this next week to explain why we're doing it and everything like that. But this is your chance to come to Flip Your Life Live. So if you're planning on next year, planning on doing it later, there's not going to be a later. This is the last big event we're planning to do. Okay. So we're definitely not doing one next year for sure. So Not sure what's going to happen in 2020. No, it's not going to happen in 2020. Or I'm sorry, 2021. No, we know for sure it's not going to happen in 2020. This is it. And we're going to be announcing that next week. Go ahead and tell you guys.
Don't miss out. It's going to be really fun.
It's going to be an amazing event. We're going to blow it out. And then we're going to take a little shift in direction with our live events. And we really want you to be there. So this is your last chance to do it for a long time, maybe. So Flip Your Life Live, fliplifestyle.com/live. We would love to have you there. And look for more information about that next week. We are out. We're going to go see if our children are making any more messes. But I'm pretty sure I made the biggest mess of tonight. All right, guys.
Bye, guys.
Catch you later.